Hi there, Dory Sukup here with the September issue of Inspiration Moment. You're about to watch the featured article, and this featured article is all about how coaching your team definitely pays off, and it pays off big. So in this article, I really wanted to bring forth the importance of coaching and investing in your team. So I love sports. I don't know about you, but the football season is just about upon us here. Baseball is thriving. Basketball is around the corner. So lots of sports to watch. But I just want you to think of this for a moment. Could you imagine a professional sports team without a coach? Even a minor team, even the little leagues, it doesn't matter. Do they all have a coach? Absolutely. Well, why is that? Why do they have to have a coach? Because when you have a team, you have to continually coach them and develop them all the time. So in this feature article, I want to point out some things to you on how important, first of all, to have a coach. And second is, who is that coach on your team, or if you have one, or is it you? And how good are they at really coaching the team and measuring so you are getting the results that you are wanting to get? So the first thing I'd like to get started with is how important it is to measure. Now, as you're watching a football game or basketball or any of the sports, where is usually the coach? Are they in an office somewhere? Are they in a conference room somewhere? No, they're right there on the sideline. They're watching. They're keeping an eye on how the team is actually playing, how they're moving, how they're scoring. Are they fumbling? Are they stealing? What are they doing? So they're right there watching the entire process. Now, what happens if the team is not performing up to par? Usually they take a timeout. So they stop the game. The coach knows something is not clicking. We're not playing enough defense. We're not doing good on offense. Maybe we're not positioning ourselves properly on the court. So they're always fine-tuning. The timeout purpose is to sit down or to huddle and say, okay, you guys, we need to do this a little bit more. And then they go back, and usually what happens after a timeout, they usually score immediately because everything is fresh in their mind. So those are all things that they do. And what happens after the game? Think about it. They sit down, they analyze every single shot, every single movement to see whether the team is delivering on the plays that were drafted before the actual game. And then what else do? They watch video. They sit down and they replay the entire game to see what really happened. Now, not only do they watch it to critique, but they also watch it to see what they did good so they can repeat it. And that's what coaching is all about. And when you have a good head coach that is like this, that keeps their eye on the team and on the ball and on the plan of the game, then they win championships. But if they don't, what usually happens to the coach? If the team is not performing, what happens to the coach? It's like, they cut them. They're gone. They're gone. So your success relies quite a bit on the coaching process you have in place. But you know what's sad? A lot of times you don't even have a person designated to just coaching, or you don't really pay attention to coaching in your facility. And that's the part that I really want to bring forth to you in this featured article and show you how important, first of all, having a coach is. So that's your first step. You need to designate who that person is and then make sure that they understand how to coach your team to success. So my first thing is to assess who's on your team that's capable and qualified to do this. And then if there's not a person, then you really need to either do it yourself or hire someone to actually do it. So I did a couple of on-sites this month. I was in 2 states I have not been to yet. Now there's only 3 states I have not been to, and that's North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. I've been to every other state in the United States. Isn't that nice? I love it. So last week I did 2 on-sites. I went to Idaho, which I loved. I went to Boise to visit the Pure Medical team. They were amazing. So we did a lot of training and coaching with them. And then I went to Wichita, Kansas, where I visited with Spa MD, Dr. Cheatham's facility, and beautiful, beautiful place in Wichita, Kansas. So those were 2 places. But I have to tell you, as I sat and was training and coaching and helping this team develop, the team was so hungry for learning. They were all just taking it in and loving every minute of it. They were loving the training. They were loving the structure and the systems that we were going to implement. And a lot of times, your team is begging for that, but we're not delivering. And that's so important to your success. So if you want to finish the year off, you have 3 more months, basically 4 months left for the year, right? So September and then the last quarter of the year. If you want to finish the year just amazing results, then you need to definitely implement coaching. So I was just doing a coaching call with one of our Titanium members, Stephanie. As a matter of fact, her husband Jeff and her are about to publish their new book. It's called Master Injector. He was at the book seminar in March, and they're about to go to print now. And she was telling me that they're up 25, almost 26% for the year. That's incredible. So we talked a little bit, and I gave her a couple more little strategies, a little coaching. So everybody really needs coaching, not only your team, but also you as an entrepreneur. And as we were finishing our phone call, she said to me, Dory, this is incredible. We've been on the phone for 20 minutes, and you just gave me 3 amazing ideas that I know that once I implement them, I'm going to finish the year. And I said, by 50% growth, right? She says, right on. And that's what coaching will do for you. I was on the phone with my coach yesterday, my mentor. And the more you coach and the more you develop your skills, the better off you're going to be. So I have to tell you that to be an effective coach, I just want to give you a couple of things that you can include with your coaching model. 1 is you need to define again who that head coach is. 2 is you need to provide training tools to your team. Again, if you don't have the time or you don't know how to coach your team, well, I'm giving you the tools. In the Recipe for Success, this month we're going to talk about hosting fun and productive events. Last month we talked about increasing capacity with membership. So every month I'm teaching your team something. So you need to tap into training tools. Those are a must. Then you need to establish a continued training and coaching schedule. Because if your team expects that you're going to train and coach them on a regular basis, then they know about it and they plan for it. And then you definitely need to have a model where you're observing the team, just like the coaches do in sports. You need to watch and see their behavior, how they're delivering the information, and how important it is to coach them on the operation and the guest experience so they are doing a great job for you. And then, of course, utilizing timeouts. During the webinar that's coming up, I'm doing a webinar for you on the I Care coaching model that we teach. And during the webinar, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to coach someone in like 5 minutes or less. And that's what's nice about coaching, is it doesn't have to take a lot of time. So I really want to make sure that you measure, just like they do in sports, measuring those statistics and looking at the numbers and what numbers to look at, so you can have a clear picture of what your team is actually doing. So those are the things that are so important. So establish daily, weekly annual targets that your team needs to actually reach. So here are some key performance indicators that you should be measuring. That's the revenue per guest, very important. The guest retention, right? That's key. If you don't measure retention, you're not measuring anything. Upgrade opportunities, cross marketing between the team members that you have, the guest experience, the rituals, attitude, attendance, work ethic. Those are all key things you should be measuring. Number of referrals, number of reviews. That was another module that I did in the recipes for success. So those are all things that if you keep your eyes on the ball and you're measuring just like they do in sports with all the statistics, and you publish all those statistics. And I have to tell you one thing from the teams that I visited last week, they all are hungry for that. When we set our goals and our targets, they want to know what those are. They want to know what they're striving for. And then when you set up bonuses based on those targets, then they're more likely to achieve them and help you reach the goals and the results that you want. So it makes it really a big difference. So stay tuned for the bright idea, because I'm going to tell you exactly what the eye care model is all about and why you should join me on that webinar. So I hope you joined this featured article. I want to encourage you to keep coaching and training your team so you can finish the year off very strong and grow your business exponentially. So until then, stay inspired.